closely related to the factors of a number are finding the multiples of a number. And so this is kind of like the opposite in a way of a factor. And so a multiple of a number is any number that can be divided by the original number without having a remainder. Or another way of thinking about this is skip counting by a particular number. And so ways that we can find the multiple of a number, let's say if we were thinking about multiples of 5, that's going to be our goal number here. When you skip count by 5s, it's going to be all the numbers that you start on. So from 0, you know, you'll land on 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And you could go on and on and on like this if you wanted. And so this here would be the first multiple. 10 would be the second. 15 is the third. And so on and so on. So skip counting would be the least efficient strategy because if a question says what is the 95th multiple of 5, you would have to skip count 95 times, and that's going to become really inefficient with a lot of opportunities for mistakes. So looking at a more efficient and accurate way of finding the multiples of a number is using multiplication. And so if we look at the skip counting here, this first multiple, you could think of that as, well, I did 1 times 5, and that was 5. And would you look at that? Our first multiple of 5 is 5 right here. So same thing if we think about this third multiple. The third multiple of 5 is 15. 1, 2, 3. Check it out. Now, this is really useful when we start thinking about, like, what's the 13th multiple of 5? We could go on and on and on up here until we get to 13, but that's going to take a while. So instead, we could use multiplication and say, well, 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times 3 is 15. And so our 13th multiple of 5 is going to be 65. So related to this is like the opposite question. So here the question would have been like, what is the 13th multiple of 5? This question could be like, list 5 multiples of 5. And then the question in this division strategy is something like, is 75 a multiple of 5? Question mark. And this strategy kind of goes back to that first definition we had up here. It's any number that can be divided by the original number without a remainder. So we would look at this and say 75 divided by 5. And if we get an answer with no remainder, then that means we are good to go. And so 75 divided by 5, I'm going to do a quick branching on this. I know that's a 50 and a 25. So 50 divided by 5 is 10. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So 75 divided by 5 is 15. So you know what? Yes, 5 is a multiple of 75. In fact, it is the 15th multiple of 5. Boom.